Hello, YouTube. It's me, Nicholas Cordero. I am a photographer, artist extraordinaire. Today, I want to talk about photography. Have you ever wondered what it's like to take a photo, the same photo, on an iPhone, a Polaroid, on 35mm, and then on digital? Today we're at my friend Sam's house. We're gonna shoot some photos. I want to shoot essentially the same photo on all of the mediums to just kind of see and feel the difference between all of them. So with shooting with the iPhone, I think it's awesome because everyone probably will have some sort of mobile phone to take a photo on. I think that you kind of get lost and you can take a lot of photos and maybe the lighting isn't so perfect, but you can kind of manufacture it with editing and whatever you want to. I think one of the cons about taking photos on your phone is that there isn't this nostalgic feel to it that you'll get with something like film. And I think that there's other aspects, like you might just have too many photos. You might have overshot something. And you might never get that real cinema or very, artsy look from an iPhone photo. It's not a camera that's anything other than a phone camera. I think that phone cameras have gotten a lot better and, everyone can take a nice photo, but I think to an extent, photography is a bit more than just an iPhone. When shooting with digital, I think the best part about shooting in digital photography is that there's a lot that you can manipulate with settings on the actual camera. You can get a particular feel, a particular look. You can enhance the light settings, the exposure, anything like that. And I think that especially with other tools like Photoshop and reworking images, especially shooting in RAW and something like that, you can get exactly what you want. But I think there's definitely some cons to it. There's the same aspect of shooting with an iPhone where you could just shoot as much as you want. I'm sure you have the size of the memory card that you're using or the terabyte that you're using to shoot with, but I mean, you could just shoot thousands upon thousands of photos and maybe never get that one or not be able to fully see that one until you've shot too many. I think a big thing about the digital photography aspect is you can get a digital camera. A lot of digital cameras won't be even as good as your iPhone, to be honest. So if you want a good digital camera, you're gonna be spending a lot of money, and especially with lenses and just like even the main build itself, like this isn't something that you can fit in your pocket. You'll need a separate bag or kind of just be hoisting it everywhere with you. Film photography. This is the Olympus OM 2. This is a 35mm camera. I'm gonna shoot Kodak 200 or gold, so 200 ISO. Best part about film is, for me, that it's that nostalgic feel. I'm shooting a physical thing. After I'm done with the roll, it's gonna come out and I can touch it and I can look at it and it's mine forever. It's not like some weird memory card I'm gonna plug it into my computer and it's gonna disappear and I can't see it anymore. I think that, again, with all film photography, you're gonna have a lot of cost. An average roll of film, something like Kodak Gold, is gonna cost $12, and that's probably a cheaper end of that roll. But rolls can range, if we're talking about like Portra 160 or 400, we're talking about like maybe $18 a roll, depending on where you're getting it. You can choose to use a correct film stock or create a different type of photo, maybe make a painting with a photo. I think you can do that with digital as well as with like editing tools, but I think that film photography is a little more sacred. It has its own thing, it's alive. And Polaroid photography is great for that nostalgic feel. So this is the Polaroid i2. It came out last year. It's Polaroid's newest camera. It has the best lens that they've ever had. The best part about this camera is that I can do manual multiple exposures, up to 4 exposures, and I get to decide. I have a exposure compensation at the top as well that I can change from -2 to 2 in that range, and that's just manipulating essentially the ISO depending on where you're shooting, how much light is available. You also have the ability to do shutter priority, aperture priority, but the lowest f-stop is 8, so it's more of for something like in a landscape-based photography if you're gonna be doing aperture-based priority. I think that on this camera, the best part is you get it right away. It's that instantaneous gratification when you're taking film photos where, you know, usually when you're taking a photo on film, you gotta wait for it to get developed. Either you're bringing it to a lab or you're gonna do it yourself, and it costs in work, and it costs in money. And a lot of the time, sometimes things can not be done properly, or something happened in the camera and you might lose all the photos. You might have a light leak, there might be a problem with your lens, and it's more of an expensive process than a lot of other forms of photography. And then, you know, if you're talking about Polaroid, average a photo is going to cost you around $2, if not more, depending on the stock that you're shooting. With the Polaroid, you're just going to get exactly what you took a photo of. Obviously, depending on where the film itself was stored, if it was stored in a dry or a cold place or a wet place or a warm place, it's going to be really dependent on how well those photos are actually going to come out. A lot of the time, if it's stored too cold, it will come out very green, and a lot of the time, if it's stored in more of a warm place or a damp place, it's going to happen to come out, I would say, on the redder side and or dark green. And you'll just have kind of like a bad exposure just because the emulsion is going to be affected by the temperature. And yeah, that's it. So we just Hey guys, it's FilterGrade here again. Thanks for joining us today for this fantastic video going through, you know, photography as it is in our modern age. You know, we got film, we got digital, we got the iPhone. Thanks.